Well, let's do top 10 because 2007 is insane. It's like one of
2007
the
is
greatest years in movie history. And if we did top 20, we could do top 30. I mean, like it would be nuts. So
That's
let's
true.
just
We
do
got
it.
to cut it off somewhere. All right, I'm not going to even name any honorable mentions because, like I said, it could go on forever. So I'm just going to cut straight to the chase and go with number 10 is Julian Schnabel's The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Great lead performance. Matthew Amalric. Number 9 for me is the aforementioned The Savages. Number 8 is Sean Penn's Into the Wild. My number 7 is Tony Gilroy's Michael Clayton, featuring a great performance from the late Tom Wilkinson. Lost him too soon. Number 6 is the Irish romance drama Once. Number 5 is one of my favorite modern westerns, 3:10 to Yuma. I think it's a very underrated movie. Great performances by Russell Crowe and Christian Bale in that one. Number 4 is another Philip Seymour Hoffman movie. He's got 2 in the top 10, and he's actually got a third one if we go down to my top 20. But number 4 is Sidney Lumet's Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Great Philip Seymour Hoffman performance. Also Ethan Hawke, Albert Finney, and Marissa Tomei. Just an incredible movie.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was Sidney Lumet's final movie.
I believe it was. Yes, that's correct. Number 3, and now I mean these top 3 are just upper echelon, all the way. My number 3 is David Fincher's Zodiac, which we've spoken about on the podcast at length. Number 2, which you will hear more from us in the very near future, is Joel and Ethan Coen's No Country for Old Men, and then number 1 is Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood.
So we actually have quite a bit of overlap, not surprising.
Mm,
Number 10, I have Judd Apatow's Knocked Up.
really funny.
Yeah, I think it's actually become kind of because the studio comedy has been diminished. It's hard for people don't really like go back and think that much about past comedies anymore. I think Knocked Up is a really good one, and it was the jumping off point for Seth Rogen, who now is like producing all of the comedies.
Well, I think the star hating the movie has kind of diminished it in some people's estimation
Okay,
too.
but she stinks, so whatever. Number 9 is Richard Shankman's The Man from Earth. We've said quite a bit about it.
Hmm.
Number 8 is Tony Gilroy's Michael Clayton. So the overlap has already begun.
There it is.
Number 7, There Will Be Blood, P.T. Anderson. Number 6 is Sean Penn's Into the Wild.
Oh, nice.
Number 5 is David Fincher's Zodiac. Number 4, rounding back around to Jonah Hill. My top 4 is a little bit different than yours, although not completely. Number 4 is Greg Mottola's Superbad, which I
Mm-hmm.
rewatched recently and my wife hated, which I thought would skew my opinion of it, but no, it just had me dig in further. I just love Superbad. Number 3 is Edgar Wright's Hot Fuzz, which is one of the funniest movies of that decade.
I love Hot Fuzz. Yeah,
Yeah, it's my favorite of that trilogy.
probably mine too. Yeah,
Yeah, top to bottom, just unbelievably funny.
Kate Blanchett. Yeah, really makes that movie.
And everything. Number 2 is the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men. You know what? I'll save it because, as you mentioned, we're going to be talking about it more in a future episode. And number 1 is a movie that Jake actually introduced me to, and a movie whose director has become worse, just like much worse with each film, including this year's Argyle, and that's Matthew Vaughn. This is his film Stardust, which is, we mentioned Neil Gaiman earlier in this episode because of his writing of Sandman, which is very similar to Man from Earth. He wrote Stardust, the book that this movie is based on. It stars Claire Danes and pre-Daredevil Charlie Cox.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep. It's got Sienna Miller being very cute. And then it has unbelievably great performance in villainous roles from Mark Strong and Michelle Pfeiffer. And it has what I consider to be a career best performance by Robert De Niro.
He's so amazing, and it's so far off what he normally does. I love it.
It's incredible. Stardust is the perfect I'm not feeling well movie. It will make you feel well. Just wonderful stuff. And I'm so happy Jake introduced me to it.
You're welcome. I love it too.